What is going on, NPL Miners fans? It is your boy Jar here with week number 2. We lost to Fog last week, 0-4. A little bit of unfortunate hacks in that game, but we have to bounce back. There are only 7 weeks in this league, so we definitely have to make the most of it. Definitely want to make playoffs and get into majors, but until then we have to build our way from minors from 0-4 down. And this week we are going up against Sky, a very formidable opponent, and we have a very good match for you guys ahead. So let's just jump into the team builder and team preview. So you know our team. He has Tapu Koko, Landorus Therian, Mega Alakazam, Keldeo, Nihilego, Superior, Hitmontop, Registeel, Frostlass, Volcarona, and Guzzlord. So the first thing I immediately noticed was the first set I built. Belly Drum Azu puts in so much work this game. It's actually crazy. Once I'm Belly Drummed up, Aqua Jet basically kills Tapu Koko, Landorus, Zam. Keldeo dies from like 40. Superior I need damage on, but like dies from 60. Hitmontop dies to a player off and I outspeed. Registeel dies to a waterfall and I outspeed. Frostlass dies to an Aqua Jet. Volcarona dies to an Aqua Jet, and I outspeed and kill Guzzlord with a play rough. So Belly Drum Azu with this much speed is enough. I'm speed creeping like 20 speed or so Hitmontop. So, you know, nothing crazy, but it allows me to run Adamant, and I will OHKO the majority of his team, everything basically. Once I have my Belly Drum up, if I set it up at the right time, I should sweep Sky with no problem. However, I have to be very careful with this set and make sure I do it at the right time. So, Azu, very standard, but it's definitely the best set for this week. Moving on, one of the things I was most scared of looking at this matchup was Volcarona. So, second thing I built, Assault Vested Entei with pressure. He has a very large speed gap in his team, so I just felt max HP was better, because it helped me just take better special hits from the Volcarona and in general in case I need to take a physical hit. Although, looking back, his team is all special besides Landorus, so maybe just throwing it in Spidef would have been alright, but not really necessary. E-Speed, Flare Blitz, Stone Edge, Sacred Fire. Sacred Fire hits the Landorus, which is his only real Entei switch-in, very hard, and once he's burned, I can just start firing off Flare Blitzes, which are unresisted. Max attack Adamant Entei will still be putting in a lot of work. Stone Edge OHKOs Volcarona clean from full, so no worries there. And E-Speed for general priority. Zam is a little bit of an issue for my team, but Entei Azu's very powerful priority should help me deal with it just fine. Thirdly, we are rocking the Hippowdon, Rindo Berry, Sandstream. This is my Tapu Koko counter. Earthquake, Stealth Rock, Toxic, Slack Off. Now, Jar, I know you're thinking, Jar, you can't touch Landorus, that's fine. Two things. Landorus, not that huge of a threat to my team. I can wear it down in Toxic and stall it out. The only set that puts in a lot of work versus my team is specifically Double Dance, and I still have Azu and Entei's priority to help me pick that off. And if it's Toxic, Hippowdon can take hits from it for a while. So that's the Hippowdon set. Very, very standard. I will take a Grass Knot from that Tapu Koko if I need to, and OHKO it with Earthquake. Slack Off, good. Sandstream, Hindsight 2020. I might not just run Sandstream anymore, but it definitely helps. This is a little bulky. This is a little more hyper-offensive team, so I'm not sure it was 100% necessary looking back, but, you know, live and learn. Next up, we're going to Golbat. Like I said, everything on his team is special, so I just want to make sure I had switch-ins to everything. I mean, look at this team. Koko special, Zam is special, Keldeo special, Nihilego special, Superior is special, Frostlass is special, Volcarona is special, Guzzlord is probably special, so everything on his team is basically a special attacker, so I can just run a max Spidef Evile like Golbat with Brave Bird, Defog, Roost, and U-Turn. This is the actual Superior and Keldeo counters. They cannot sub up on me because of Infiltrator. I can just U-Turn to gain momentum in case he thinks Registeel or Landorus are his switch-ins. Defog, Roost, Spidef, Golbat looking good. I've really enjoyed using Golbat actually, and it is my hazard removal this week as well. So very, very good for Golbat. Next up, we got the Umbreon, Leftover Synchronized. This is my Mega Alakazam counter. I'm expecting 3 attacks sub. The 3 attacks being Dazzling Gleam, Shadow Ball, Psychic. They hit the majority of my team extremely, extremely hard. So that's what I'm expecting from his Mega Zam. I'm running this Umbreon because he has a chance to 2-hit KO me with Focus Blast. He has a chance not to with my Protect and Lefties, etc. But I don't see Focus Blast coming. I think sub makes more sense. Pursuit, just in case I need to get some damage off on that Zam and just breaks its sub in general. Wish support I also found to be very, very good for Azu and Entei support and my last Mon. So I felt that was another thing that was kind of necessary. Also, if you look at my team, Registeel could throw around a lot of statuses against this team. So Heal Bell, make sure that doesn't happen and put me in a bad position. I definitely need to win this game with my Azu or my last Mon, which we will get into right now, which is the Mega Latios, bringing it once again. Started off 0-1, hopefully it can do a little bit better this week. I am running nearly max speed, 16 special attack, 252 attack, Dragon Dance, Ice Beam, Earthquake, Zen Headbutt, another Mon that just completely destroys him. Koko dies to +1 EQ, Landorus dies to Ice Beam, Zam dies to +1 EQ. Keldeo dies to +1 Zen Headbutt. Nihilego dies to EQ. Superior takes a crap ton from Zen Headbutt at +1. Hitmontop almost dies to Zen Headbutt at +1. Registeel gets 2-shot by Earthquake at +1. Frostlass almost dies with Rocks Up to +1 EQ. Volcarona dies with Rocks Up to +1 EQ. Guzzlord, I can't touch the Guzzlord, but that Guzzlord is pure setup fodder for my Azumarill. So if I see Guzzlord come in, I'm probably going to sack something, go into my Azu, and win the game. So a few things that I noticed finally with the matchup was a lack of hazard removal for a team with a Volcarona specifically, so getting my Rocks Up, very, very good. Also, it helps ensure a few KOs with my Latios and my Azumarill set, so very, very nice. I think we have a lot of potential. This match versus Skyrander matchup is pretty good. I'm bringing 2 sweepers I think can put in the work, and I'm pretty sure I can wall the majority of his offense with the 4 mons I'm bringing in the middle, and Entei can definitely break down the walls without a choice band this week, so that's what we're rocking. I will shift it over to the battle now, so I will just pause, and I will see you guys there. Well, what is up, guys? We are here with the battle portion, and as you can see, big things I noticed off of team preview. There is no superior, so my Azu is a very big threat if I can weaken that Keldeo. Everything else I can basically OHKO after I belly drum up. He only brought one of his Intimidators. Entei looks to have a very, very good matchup this game as well. He leans on Keldeo to pivot into it, which is not very solid. I can wall everything on his team with the stuff I brought with the Entei, Hippowdon, Golbat, and Umbreon. And my Mega Latios is also a big threat to sweep. I OHKO everything on his team except Registeel after a Dragon Dance. So overall, I like the matchup. I like what we brought. Overall, he led with Tapu Koko last week. Tapu Koko is in general a really good lead, and I was kind of scared of it because that was kind of one thing. If it broke my Rindo, Hippowdon could have trouble dealing with it. So I overall just decided my best lead of choice was the Hippowdon, as he leads with Keldeo, predicting my lead. So off to a rough start there, but not worried about this thing. Like I said, I have my Golbat, so I can just go hard into it. Hopefully he doesn't burn me with a Scald or something. He clicks Scald, and he gets the turn 1 burn. So off to a good start this week. Here, I'm just going to try and get some momentum on my side. Golbat's getting worn down with Sand Burn, so maybe Sand wasn't the best option this week, but it's still not bad. I'm just going to click U-turn, get some momentum in my favor as he goes out into his Landers, which is a free switch in for my Hippowdon because I noticed right here he had 0 hazard removal on a team with a Volcarona, and Rock still help wearing down Keldeo and such, so I needed to go out into Hippowdon and get my Rocks Up as he reveals the tech Grass Knot. But right there I calc that damage. As I get my Rocks Up, I calc that Grass Knot damage. That is 0 special attack, like adamant. So he is definitely, he was like, I don't know why he packed it, because a lot of his team is Spadef. Defensive Hippo didn't really make sense in my opinion. But right there it kind of threw me off because I thought, okay, so here's what I think his set is. I think he's a special Landorus built to switch into Entei Sacred Fire, get burned, and still be able to do damage. Because I calced it, and he, like I said, he was no special attack basically. So he could have gotten a min roll on not adamant, but I was pretty sure he was adamant. He was just a negative special attacking nature. That probably should have tipped me off a little bit, but it didn't. I still thought that would be a cool set to bring against my Entei. As here, I am just going to fire off a Toxic. I have no reason not to, as he brings in Keldeo, which is great for me. That thing is going to take Toxic, Rocks, and a little bit of Sand damage, and I can start wearing this thing down. Like I said, it's the only thing stopping my Azumarill from sweeping. I'm going hard into Umbreon here because, for a few reasons. I predict the Icy Wind because I figure, okay, he probably could 2-hit KO my Golbat if I'm not careful with the combination of Icy Wind into Hydro Pump. Doesn't need to risk the miss. I thought he might be a Z-move Keldeo because I saw no item, and this is one of his Z-moves. I really thought it could have been the Ice Z-move in order to make sure he OHKOs my Golbat, which would have been really good prep. So I figured, alright, let me pivot into my Umbreon. I calced his damage before. It's non-attack boosting item, so I thought Z-move and or Scarf. And here with the Umbreon, the last thing I wanted to do was lose momentum, and he has 2 plays here. Staying in Secret Sword if he's not Scarfed, or if he is Scarfed, he'll go into his Registeel, which would lose me a lot of momentum. He'd get Rocks Up, Golbat would basically be at 40%, but I figured, alright, let me just protect, see what he wants to go for, because if he goes into Registeel, I can throw up a Wish, pass into Golbat, defog the Rocks away, and go from there. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to stay in with my Umbreon, and I'm just going to click Protect. We're going to see if this Keldeo is Scarf or not, as I click the Protect, and he stays in, so obviously not Scarf, he just Secret Swords, and I catch I get the 50-50 right there. Probably a Z-move Keldeo. Here, I'm going to pivot out into my Latios because there is no way he is clicking the Icy Wind, but he makes the switch out into Registeel now. Unfortunate, but still very fine. I can't set up on this thing just yet, so I'm just going to switch hard into my Umbreon again because my plan still remains the same. Wish past a Golbat, get rid of the rocks. So I'm going to heal ball off my burn on my Golbat because that was getting really annoying as he throws off a Toxic, so throwing up the Wish first might not have been the worst idea, especially considering I had gone into Golbat on the Toxic. That would have helped as well. But here, I just make the safe play out into my, as I throw up the Wish, and here I'm thinking, okay, I can't pass this Wish into, what's it called, Golbat, because I can't stop this Volcarona. So I figured, alright, I'm just going to pass this Wish into my Assault Vested Entei. If he goes for an attack, I should still get back up to full, even after rocks with my spread. So I go into my Entei. As Sky decides it's time to go for game, Quiver Dance is up right in my face. So I'm pretty confident, though, I can live any hit relatively comfortably. I calc the damage. Sacred Fire into E-Speed should kill if he's not super bulky. But from this Sacred Fire damage, you can see he is extremely physically defensive. So that plan is out the window, so I'm just here going to click Stone Edge. He clicks Psychic, does absolutely nothing to me, as I'm going to pick him off with a Stone Edge here, and Volcarona, the biggest threat to my team probably, goes down. So, good news for me. Volcarona is down, so don't have to worry about that thing sweeping me. Keldio's worn down at this point, and I don't need Entei that much anymore. So he goes into his Landorus, and this is where I make a little bit of a misplay, kind of. I kind of want to see what he wants to go for. I'm still anticipating a special set with just zero special attack. I figured he got low rolled, but as you're going to see here, he's going to click knock off first my Golbat, and that damage signifies to me that he was adamant and got a medium roll. So he's a max attack adamant spread with that knockoff damage. So I'm going to sack my Golbat here, and I have two thought process here. All right, one, he's not scarfed, and he will just, if I go out into my Azu, he'll just EQ with Soft Sand potentially and do like 80% and kill my Azu. And, well, he just won't allow me to belly drum up, basically. If I go out into my Latios, I bait him to stay in with the knockoff, and if I bait him to stay in with a knockoff, and I can find out if he's scarfed. So I decide my best play is going Latios. If he's not scarfed, he should switch out into his Registeel. So I'm just going to click Earthquake. Also, I didn't want to click Dragon Dance here because I didn't want to kill this Landorus and or threaten it out if it was scarfed, because Azu is if it is scarfed into knockoff, this is Azu's chance to set up. So I go into my Latios, I just click EQ, I don't want to set up or threaten him in any way. He knockoffs, thinks he's got an over prediction right, but this confirms to me he outsped, he is definitely scarfed. So I'm going to let him take my Latios down, and as you can kind of tell where this is already going, I get to go out free into my Azu. Even if he would have knocked here, it would have done very, very minimal damage, but I get a free belly drum with Azumarill, and from this point, Keldeo is only at 39 after rocks without even having taken toxic damage yet. So, everyone a bit confused, do I sack my Latias? I needed to make sure. Now I'm just going to go for an Aqua Jet, knock out the Keldeo, and everything is in Aqua Jet range at this point. Azumarill is just about to clean this team up. Goes into his Landorus. I had a thought process, if he had like pivoted around with this Landorus, he was still going to lose 3 Mons to a point where Hippo just basically soloed this team, because one of them would eventually have to be the Landorus. So I just click Aqua Jet. He stays in though, helps my differential, very, very nice. But at this point, he can go into his Registeel. It doesn't matter, even Max will still die to a Waterfall from Azumarill from this range, so that thing drops. He goes into his Zam, I believe. He goes into his Tapu Koko. This thing cannot live +5 Azumarill Aqua Jet. So very, very good game to Sky. I don't want to say like he played that bad, because I just think his matchup wasn't that great. Maybe it was because of his team, but Azu and with the combination of Latios both had really good matchup. I was able to bring Azu this week, and with the first time I've ever brought in an Azu in League format, I was able to get a 4-0 with it and get 5 kills with the Azumarill. So, new team captain? Maybe. We'll see. But Azumarill definitely did its job this week. Latios, 0-2 with the Mega Latios. It would have put in work last week, but it didn't get to. But 0-2 with Mega Latios, that's not looking good. But I really liked how the team played this week. It felt kind of like how I expected it to. I kind of like the pivoting between Umbreon with the Wish passing. Hippo and Entei did their jobs extremely well, and overall I was just kind of happy with how the battle went, and I got myself back to 0 differential at 1-1, so that is really good for us in your Toronto Staraptors. So hopefully we can continue to progress in the NPL minors and do better and better. We started off and got back to our grounds this week, and it felt really good to pick up a win in this league because it is a very competitive league. But until week 3, I'm going to sign off. I will see you guys later.